Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final episode, the final contestant of Quadrant 1 of the Trivia 10 Season 3. K Meeks, I've said multiple episodes, you're not going to be in this quadrant. There's only going to be Doug and Owen, but due to a last-minute replacement coming off the bench, joining this quad instead of being in a later quad, you're in the final episode, which means we saw last week that Anthony is officially eliminated. But going to be honest, I'm not going to tell you what score you need, but it's either you or Doug getting cut. So as one of you two is not making the playoffs. We saw all the way back in episode 1 that his Tuesday episode of the trivia just did not cut it, even though it did very well on the real reveal. But it's got to be cutthroat. It's either you or Doug making it to the playoffs. Owen's already locked in. Nalbus, George, they're good. It's down to you two. But new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. I will mention right now, we were just talking about this, K Meeks and I, that basically everyone in the playoffs is going to be at New York Film Festival next weekend, which is when I have to record the playoffs. So next week's Tuesday episode, we're going to start Quadrant 2, and the playoffs will come a little later for Quadrant 1. So we had to shift things around because people are all going to be at film festivals, and it's that time of year. So next week, be expecting Quadrant 2 to kick off with the first contestant. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and get into this. Question 1, we've got 3 multiple choice questions. First up, in Superbad, how old does McLovin's fake ID say he is? Is it 21, 23, 25, or 27?
When the question popped up, I was so confident that I knew the answer. And now that I'm looking at the multiple choice, I'm not confident anymore. Because in my head, before you even showed me the options, I was telling myself it's 24. But that falls right in between B and C. And now I'm not sure if it's 23 or if it's 25. Because I know they specifically make a joke where they say, why wouldn't you just make it 21?
Yeah. So you can eliminate one basically there. Yeah.
But I don't, and it's not 27 because that's too old. But it's either 23 or 25. I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm not confident, but I'll go C, 25.
That is correct. 25 is the right answer. He has 25 in that fake ID. 23 would just be like a little too off for like the comedic joke they try to make. It's like 25 is like a good, like, are you an idiot? Why would you go 4 years over your age? But you start off on a hot streak, get a win off the bat, which is good. We saw multiple choice trip people up. 5 points already. Going on to the second multiple choice question now. In It's a Wonderful Life, what is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel? Is it Clarence, Gabriel, Michael, or Raphael?
Wow. I'm going to be honest. This is not a detail I remember at all. I kind of like...
It's a 5-star movie for you, though, right?
It is a 5-star movie for me, yeah. But it's actually, for context, I just watched it for the first time this past Christmas.
Really?
And I'll probably rewatch it this Christmas. But I watched it for the first time this past Christmas because it's just like Christmas classic that I finally had to watch. And I like cried for 30 minutes at the end of it. And I was like, this is amazing. But typically not good at retaining information from movies that I've only watched once. So especially details like this. But I think I'm kind of between like Clarence and Gabriel, but that doesn't even feel, I don't know. Raphael seems wrong, but that's like a Ninja Turtle. No, I don't know. I like that answer. I'm gonna go, gosh, okay. I feel like I'm gonna regret not picking Clarence, but I'm gonna go Gabriel.
You probably are going to regret not picking Clarence. Clarence is the right answer. So you want to see people have It's a Wonderful Life rated 5 stars. It's kind of hit or miss because some people are the type where like they watched it every single Christmas growing up. So like they've seen it 30 times. So like that would be easier for them, even though it's like a harder detail to remember. But I'm the same boat as you. I watched it for the first time like just last year for Christmas because it was like my mom would watch it every year growing up. But I was like, ew, black and white. I'm going to watch A Christmas Story, and I'm not going to watch It's a Wonderful Life. You enjoy your black and white nonsense. Yeah. My 8-year-old self is going to go watch Christmas Story 7 times in a row. But no, It's a Wonderful Life it's a great movie. But Clarence is the right answer. Final multiple choice question coming up here. In The Fault in Our Stars, whose Pacers jersey does Gus wear? The Jermaine O'Neal, Reggie Miller, Paul George, or Rick Smits?
Oh, that's a Rick Smits jersey.
It is a Rick Smits jersey. I love always whenever I have you on, I like to combine the worlds of basketball and movies to try and come up with a question every time. We had the Uncut Gems one, I think, back in season 1. But I had to find the perfect picture of like just hiding the number
and everything.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, then I was just like, I knew it was Rick Smits. I was like, I just looked up like who's the most legendary Pacers that maybe could like trip you up. But nope, Rick Smits indeed.
That one.
Correct answer. You're at 10 points with the multiple choice questions now. Going on to the general trivia questions. In Game Night, how do we find out Annie, played by Rachel McAdams, is pregnant with their first child?
Oh gosh. do they not just do it via charades at a game night? I think that's my guess. Charades at a game night.
I think I'll give you half credit here because it's Pictionary is actually what it
Okay.
is, but it
Okay.
is out of the game night. I'll give you 5 points there, though. We'll see if that ends up make or breaking anything. But Pictionary is what it is, but it is kind of like a charaded,
Yeah,
bun in the
right.
oven is what the ultimate joke is at the end. I rewatched the scene to get the snippet from it because I couldn't find a Google image. And Jesse Plemons is so funny. He was like, "Is this from a motion picture?" When she's drawing that on there, just great movie. You're a game night truther, right? I think you have a 4
Yeah,
or 4.5.
I like that movie a lot. It's very
Yeah,
funny.
movie's such a banger. Going on to question 5 now. What is the nickname for the extraterrestrial being in Nope?
That would be Jean Jacket.
Jean Jacket is correct. I feel like I say it all the time, so I didn't know if that's like a common thing everyone remembers that as Jean Jacket, but nope, Jean Jacket,
It's a
indeed.
detail I could easily forget.
10 points there. We're at the halfway point here, doing very solid. Going on to question 6. In Phantom Thread, what makes Reynolds gravely ill?
Oh gosh. Um Another movie that I just watched for the first time quite recently. Not recently, but I've only seen the one time. I guess I probably watched it back when it came out, but like not really. Um oh no. I'm gonna be mad when I see the answer, but I might just have to pass on this one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it right.
Okay, very fair. No points here. It's Alma poisons his tea.
That's
So,
right. I
and as
knew
the movie
that.
goes on, she gets frustrated. He's not really giving her
Yes.
attention, not
Yeah.
really relying on her anymore. So she's like, I'm going to take things in my own hands. Poisons his tea. So
So
no points
obvious now
there.
that I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Some of these movies, like some people comment like on my videos, be like, "This was like the easiest trivia yet," and then someone will reply to them, and be like, "I thought this was the hardest one yet." It's like you just never
Yeah.
know what to some people are going to be easy and aren't. Going on to question 7 though. Let's see if we can get another win here. What do Otis and Lou sell at the market that becomes a smash hit in First Cow?
Um I want to say they're just oh, am I gonna get this wrong? It's gonna be so embarrassing if I get this wrong because this is just like not a. It might be more specific than this, but I want to say they're just biscuits.
Yeah, it's like a more specific term I'm looking for here. If you can think
Okay.
of that, I'll give you another opportunity.
Oh no. Oh, I should know this. Damn, that's so annoying. Um, and I'm such a like, oh, this is what I was worried about. I was worried that like not so much first cow. I was waiting for like a 10 things I hate about you question to come up and for me to get it wrong because in my head that would be like the most embarrassing thing I could ever do. But this is pretty equally embarrassing. I will say I've also only seen first cow once, but it is like a masterpiece, and I do feel bad that I don't. Oh, I thought it was just biscuits. It's like oh, they might have I don't know, it's like something cake maybe. They don't it's not like actual cake, but they call it like a something cake. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I have a better answer than that.
Okay. Well, since I give you the 5 points for the Pictionary charade one, I'm not going to give you the half credit here,
Yeah,
but
that's
oily
fair.
cakes is what it
Oily
is.
cakes, there you go. I knew it.
Yeah, it's like I've only seen it once. I love the movie, by the way, and I watched it because of you. But that's not a detail that sticks in my head simply because it looked so damn good in the movie that I was like looking up like recipes, like where do I buy oily cakes? Like this stuff
Yeah.
looks so tasty. But First Cow, great movie. If you're watching this and you haven't seen it, go check it out. But going on to question 8 now, the final of the general trivia questions here. What unique cooking utensil does CC Baxter use to make pasta for Fran in the apartment?
Wow, I'm choking so hard. These are just like not things that I know the answer to.
Mhm.
The Apartment, another movie that I've only seen once. Just getting very unlucky with the draw here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Unique cooking utensil. Okay. Uh wow, I don't know. I don't even know what could classify as like a unique cooking utensil for making pasta. It kind of oh gosh. This is like another one that's just like so obvious if you've watched the movie recently, probably. Man, how many points am I at right now? Can I know that?
You're at 25.
Oh, so I'm in Doug territory. Okay.
You still have 35
Um,
points possible from 9 and 10 though. So
Yeah, I'm thinking, listen, it's not the best strategy, but in my head right now, I'm thinking I just try to get more than 10 on the last two questions here because I don't know if I know the answer to this one. I don't, is it like a fucking spatula or something? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a small detail, a quirky moment that it's memorable, but a tennis racket. He uses a tennis racket to make
That's right.
pasta to strain out the water. But you're at 25 now. Like I said, you have 35 more points up for grabs here. Doug was at the 35 point, obviously. So yeah, if you can get 10 or more here, you'll be still sitting in a good spot to try and knock it out of the park and real reveal. But let's try and pick up some points with these final two. Graph match time. 3 movies, 3 Letterboxd graphs. Which movie is which? We have The Place Beyond the Pines. We have Bram Stoker's Dracula, and we have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. What's your thought process here? What do you think is what?
Yeah. Wow, these are a tough 3 to match, I feel like. Dungeons and Dragons is a movie that I really like, that I know a select number of people really like, but I if I had to guess, it probably has the lowest Letterboxd average. I don't think it has too many negative reviews though. It might be like a C because the 5s and 4.5s are like pretty low. Because I think the Dungeons and Dragons Letterboxd average is probably like a 3.6 or something, 3.5 maybe. Place Beyond the Pines is probably a little bit higher at like a 3.8, and then Dracula is probably in like 4.0 territory if I had to guess. I'd be shocked if that one was lower. I think most people probably rate Dracula pretty high. The problem is though with like the 5 stars on the curves, because the B graph has like a real spike at 5 stars, and I don't know which one of these movies would be the one that warrants something like that. I don't know if it's like Dracula because it has the highest average, or if it's something like Dungeons and Dragons because it has a bunch of, you know, like people really riding for it, like people who love it, and then everything else is just kind of, but none of these graphs really lean left at all. Actually, it's like you know, everything below 3.5 on these graphs is pretty minimal. So it's hard to, although the B graph, it looks like it has the lowest number of negative ratings. I don't know. The B graph is a hard one to match. It might, or not the B graph, the A graph, sorry, is like, it's just like, it's just kind of around like a big spike at 4 stars in that whole area, which I guess that could be Dungeons and Dragons, because that would also make sense. The A and C are really messing me up here because they're pretty similar graphs. C has like a little bit more 3.5 stars, like leans a little bit more positive, but it has less 5 and 4.5 stars. So the averages have to be pretty close between those two. I think I'm leaning towards B Dracula because that seems to be the most overwhelmingly positive graph here. And Dracula, if I had to guess, would be the highest average rated movie. But The Place Beyond the Pines and Dungeons and Dragons rating are probably so similar that, I don't know, Place Beyond the Pines is probably a little bit higher, actually. People like Ryan Gosling a lot. It's oh man. Because I rate that movie quite high. Maybe it's closer to a 4.0 than I'm giving it credit for, but if I had to like gut reaction guess, I would say Place Beyond the Pines is like a 3.8. My gut is telling me that I don't know. My gut's telling me that the C graph is a higher average rating because the 3.5s and 4s are so high, whereas like the A graph is just 4s and then there's like a big dip. But that could be wrong. I don't know, because then the A graph has more 5s and 4.5s. It's really hard to figure out which one of those would be a higher average. I literally like, I don't know what makes more sense. I guess I'm gonna get it wrong, I think, but I'm gonna say that the C graph would probably be a higher average, which means C would be Place Beyond the Pines, B would be Dracula, and A would be Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. I don't feel great about that, but that'll be my guess.
Locking that in?
I think so, yeah.
You got one right, Dracula. It was just ABC straight across. Dungeons and Dragons does have a slightly lower average score than the Place Beyond the Pines, but yeah, it's a tough one because all of these graphs are pretty identical from like you said, like the 0s to 2.5s, and then that it really all the differences come up beyond that. And it's hard to track, but yeah, Dungeons and Dragons was a C, Place Beyond the Pines was an A. You're up to 30 points now.
Process was there, but it
was. I mean, at first you were leaning towards getting a perfect right.
Yeah, I don't know why. And in my head, now that I'm thinking about it, that's just not how math works. If the A has more 5s and 4.5s, then it should be leaning at I don't know why I did that, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, and just talk yourself out of it a little bit, but still very much alive. We're going to the guest cast question. Need some points here. Any points, as long as you don't get a big Doug. Because remember, Doug didn't get a single point on the guest cast. So he's at 35 going to this question. You're at 30. So you need points here. Let's go. 20 points you get off the first one. The first cast member, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, gosh. I don't think it would be as simple as something like The Holdovers, because any cast member that pops up after him would just give the movie away right away. And I know that you like to make it a bit more difficult than that. So I instinctively don't want to guess The Holdovers. But I genuinely don't know, because this is going to be like Paul Giamatti in some like tiny supporting role. Like, what's the movie where he plays the fucking rhino, the Marvel movie? It's a Spider-Man movie, isn't it? I think it's, oh gosh, is it the Garfield Spider-Man movies, or is it? No, yeah, it must be the Garfield Spider-Man movies, because it's not the Sam Raimi movies. Or so I don't know. I don't know if it's the first or the second. I think the one where he plays the rhino is like the most hated one though, and I'm pretty sure that would be the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Garfield. So I'm gonna guess the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Like the thought process, that's not the right answer though.
Yeah, I figured.
Next cast member, yeah, Michael Fassbender.
Oh wow. Fassbender and Giamatti in a movie. Okay. What have I seen Michael Fassbender in? Giamatti's. Does Paul Giamatti show up in 12 Years a Slave? That would be ridiculous. No, I don't think so. Because Fassbender's in those later Alien movies. He's in Shame. I don't think Paul Giamatti's in Shame. Maybe he is. I wouldn't remember if he is. He's in. Oh gosh, I don't know. Because I'm thinking this is going to be one where Fassbender's not the lead, obviously, unless you're tricking me, which is possible. I know none of this stuff. You change up the strategy every time, so there's no point in trying to guess what you're thinking. Gosh. I don't know why my mind is like locked on 12 Years a Slave, but I don't think Paul Giamatti's in that movie. But for some reason, that's just like the movie that's coming to mind. Is what else could it be? I mean, I've seen Michael Fassbender in a lot of movies. I have not seen Paul Giamatti in a lot of movies, unless it's just like stuff that I'm forgetting. I literally can't separate the movie 12 Years a Slave from my mind for some reason. I'm just going to guess that, but I know it's wrong.
It's not wrong. 12 Years a Slave is the right answer. 12 Years a Slave. That's like, I watched it for the very first time when I was going through Oscar Best Picture winners like last year. And that's a movie where I could have picked like 8 different people up here, because I was like, this cast is crazy. And so
completely forgot that Paul Giamatti's in that. I don't even remember
so
what
many
his
cast members in that movie are like in it for a hot minute. I think he's in the very beginning of the movie, and then he's just like, he's gone forever. But yeah, the stacked cast, but 15 points there. Huge pull. 12 Years a Slave. You mentioned it early on, but you almost talked yourself out of it. But this time you didn't. 15 points there from 12 Years a Slave, getting you up to 45 here. Huge final question. So 45 points what you're going to be ending with on this portion of it, which puts you in 5th place for this ranking. But of course, we know, as we saw in last week's episode, that Anthony did not have a great Friday episode, which pushed him to the very bottom of the average ranking, which is what matters at the end. So it's going to be between you and Doug, because you have bested Doug a bit here, but he did have a great score on Real Reveal as well. So you still got your work cut out for you on Friday, which is great drama for the viewers. They can stay tuned for Friday to see who's going to go through. Is it K Meeks or Doug? But how you feel about this performance today?
I don't feel great, because I think if I put up like a 65 piece or something, then I would have
more breathing room a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I tried to study before this, and then 2 minutes in, I was just like, because I looked at the list of movies that I sent you for questions and stuff, and I was just like, this stuff doesn't matter, dude. You know what I mean? In college, I almost failed an economics class because I didn't show up all semester, and then at the end, I had to take like the final to pass the class, and I straight up just guessed everything, and I passed the class somehow by a miracle. And that's kind of just how I'm thinking now, because I can't study. My brain doesn't memorize things. So, and I got lucky. Like, that's what it worked for me last season. I got lucky enough to find my way in the championship. I didn't think that was going to happen another season in a row. So I was coming in with a low bar already, but that's okay.
You still have a chance. You still have a chance Friday. For sure.
I'm still, there's still hope. Yeah. There's still hope.
Well, stay tuned for that. If you want to play Real Reveal for yourself and get ready for Friday, moveyourreveal.io. You can play it every single day, and there's a standard version and a hard version. So go test your skills and be ready to come back on Friday to watch K Meeks and see if it's him or his podcast co-host Doug. K Meeks was a runner-up in season 2. Doug was a champion of season 1. These are seasoned veterans of the Trivia 10, and only one of them is going to be making it to the playoff round. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you then.